little update. Got a little flat. These old tires, they wasn't no good no way. We'll take a look at them right now. But here's another login update. See, we got ourselves a flat. Get in here behind and show you. This old tire was bad. We done seen this better day. That one over there ain't far behind, and the one we putting on, it ain't gonna be much better. Look at that. Oh yeah, logging update. All right, so now we're starting a new set. So what we're doing right now is we're moving the loader into this new set. Now it's gonna be a very, very difficult set to get into. And as you can see, I got the flat fixed on my tractor. It'll be a very difficult set to get into because of the heels and whatever, but we'll make it work one way or another. But you know how it is. Farmers, they got the tough work, right? So he's gonna pull it up into this area right here. And then he'll jackknife the neck around and then drop it and then come around over here, grab it and pull it in. It's a pretty cool little deal. I'll show you before. And this is what a set looks like. All right, so Jose's out of town this week. So I have to come and get diesel for the boys. I come up here. We have a card system. Pretty cool. Take your card, you put it in here, choose the pump number, and it puts it onto your account. Pretty cool system. And got a big old tank right there, but I want to show you something. This is why, I don't care what nobody says, this is why Biden sucks. This did not happen. Look at the price already. And I know maybe it's flipped. But right now, we're already up to $150. It's going to take approximately $450, $500 of diesel. And that probably ain't enough to run for the whole day for all the equipment. We'll have to make sure we spread that around evenly. That's Bidenomics for you guys. I don't care what nobody says. That's the way it is. Because we all know that electric vehicles, tractors, skidders, tree cutters, loaders, wave of the future. But how they gonna run that stuff? They're gonna put diesel generators on them. It's the dumbest crap I ever seen. But just a little update this morning. And then we're going back to the woods. We'll drop this truck off, and then we're heading over to the tree cutter. Gonna put new batteries in it, and we're gonna see if it runs today. If we can get it to run, it'll be back in business. We can kind of get off the, it won't be too much longer. We got to send the deer back. The reason I'm sitting in the truck because it's warm in here. It's cold out there. But it's going to be up about $500 worth of diesel. You might take that over 5 days. It's $2,500 worth of diesel, $10,000 a month. Just to run the equipment, probably closer to 12. Because we got to get a couple extra tanks here and there. Just to run. Now, 12 times 12 is $144,000 a year in diesel. About twice the cost it was when Trump was around. Vote red. That's all I'm going to say. The whole thing. So, all right, so we doing the last little finishing touches here, putting the motor back in. Putting the head back on. Jose's got it all. He's hooking up the temperature sensor right now. And then we're going to fire this bad boy off. And hopefully she doesn't start eating water like she did last time. And if she does that, then we'll be able to finish up everything. But I'm ready to get back in this. This is a much better machine than the John Deere, I promise you that. So stay tuned.
Might as well pull my truck up there and crank on.
All righty. It's a little update on the shear. I think they're going to have to put a motor in it, but we must keep on. Can't stop. Won't stop. So, let me look in there. Got us a belt on the loader right there. We got us a belt broke. So we're going to replace the belt. Luckily, we have 2 loaders and 2 sets, or landings as some people call them. So we're going to jump up here while they're over there working. I'm going to jump up here, put the new belt on. Now, when I put the new belt on, I got one small section here, one little small section out there, and one little small section right over there to finish about an hour and a half worth of cutting. And then I'll be done with this section of track. And then I'll have to thin that section over there. I'll have to thin it to be able to be through the 70 acres. I could probably finish thinning it and cutting it all in about a week if the wood was able to be moved. That's a big problem. Just can't move it that fast. So we're going to go ahead and put this belt on. I hope it's not too much trouble. I didn't take it off, so I don't know how much trouble it is going to be able to put it back on. But hey, as you can see, looks good out there. Great thinning. A lot of wood still on the ground. They're probably still got another week's worth over here. So, you know, it is what it is. Just logging, baby, in the wintertime. And you can see that's freezing for Louisiana, boys. That is cold. I mean, look at there. You call that little frosty ice. We call that snow. Let's go. All right, so we got the fan belt put back on there. Wasn't too bad, but it was a little aggravating having to remove the shroud to be able to get it around the fan belt, and then be able to move the shroud in order to use the belt, you know, to put your breaker bar on the belt tensioner to get everything on there. But we got it. But we're going to go over to the other job now, or the other part of this track where the other loader is, and take a look at it. And I think we'll be back over here tomorrow. So let's take a look at that other spot. So before we take a look at the woods out here, got here early this morning and loaded a truck. As you can see, the sun's not even up. The camera doesn't do it justice. Loaded the truck, but you have to trim these little vines and limbs off. They won't take them at the mill. And that's our truck driver down there. He's trimming it up. This load's going to weigh about 30 tons, which is about 60,000 pounds of wood. All right, so I want to take a walk through the woods here. Kind of show you, as you see my cutter there, I'm going to clean the head of it off. As you're cutting, a lot of these older dead pine straw and limbs, they'll break out of the trees. And when they do that, they fall down on the head. So you got to do that to keep visuals. And when you're cutting, you gotta have real good sight lines. All right, so what we're doing here is a plantation thinning. Now, this is not your typical plantation thinning where nowadays there are a lot. I'd say 90% of plantations, they've already been cut before and they're replanted. This is more of a natural type growth. The problem with natural type growth is sometimes you have to leave trees that you don't want to leave. You have to take trees that you don't want to take. So you're really not cutting to a number as much as you're cutting to a look. Now behind me, you can see, this is why you plant. Anybody who's against logging, you need to understand what goes on. This right here is a dead tree. This one is a dead tree. That's a dead pine. Then you got a dead gum tree. And it falls out of these tops. If you look up to the top of that tree is dying also. Although this tree looks alive, judging by the top up there, it's starting to die. When these trees are starting to die, you also look at the forest floor. The forest floor of this is literally a tinder box waiting to happen. And I want you to understand, look at this. Let's see if we can get my hand in there. There's the floor. We're talking about 8 to 10 inches of nothing but dead sticks pine straw. It's a firebox waiting to happen. Now, after I come in here and thin it, you can already see, I just thinned this a few minutes ago. You can already see the ground starting to dry up some. What will happen is you'll have greenbriers grow up. You'll have a lot of different things start to grow in these areas. They'll get thick with brush. And the bigger these trees that are like these right in here, they will turn into good solid log trees. So we're not cutting as much for a count or a thickness. We're just trying to get some of the smaller trees. And you can look at the pile right here. Small. Tons of small trees. There's a decent tree, but it's not a huge tree. So that's what we're doing. We're going around in these areas and cutting this smaller tree here. We'll leave, we'll probably take some of those smaller trees, but you'll leave those bigger trees back there, like this tree. Although we'll take it because it's dead, but we'll leave that tree right there behind it. That's on the edge of being a log right now. So that's what we're doing. And it opens it up, gets you some sunlight. Like, take a look. See how the sunlight can get in there? Now let's take a look at this. You can literally see it on the camera. Look how dark the canopy is, and that's shining. And then look how you can see it's green and pretty. Same tree. One of them is opened up. Look at there. It's opened up. You got some growth areas. Now that's kind of a area that had a bunch of hardwood, but look how lighted it is. Now look, just watch. Dark. See? Light, dark. That is what we do as loggers. And we open it up, it allows it to dry, and it actually creates now essentially fire lanes. When they drag this wood out of here, they'll drag it down to the ground. Right there, you can see that. They'll drag it down to the ground. It'll create natural fire lanes that'll keep stuff from forest from burning up. And they're manageable. And then you come in here and you can actually you can burn this and things like that. But this will be cut one more time. We'll cut it one more time. Not us, maybe us, you never really know, but we'll cut it one more time. And then when we get through cutting it, it will they'll cut it, they'll clear cut it, they'll what we call nuke it. They'll nuke it, they'll probably replant, regrow it, and it'll start the cycle all over again. But that is just a little something that we do. You can hear it. Listen to all that. Listen to that crunching. That's all. I mean, that stuff's if it ever catches on fire, it's over. It's gone. And you look how thick it is in here. Look at there. Thick. But look at the bottom. There's no underbrush. There's no growth. There's nothing for the wildlife to eat. It's just kind of a barren wasteland until we get in here and we clean it up, thin it out, and create an area that some underbrush and some forage can grow for the wildlife, and logs can grow big and tall. Forestry sometimes gets a bad name, but I promise you this much. Farming can have as bad or worse impact on the environment than logging can. They're just as sustainable. But log gets a horrible name sometimes because when you first cut it, it will have a weird look for about a year. Then when the process starts to take over, that's when it'll go ahead and start to, regenerate and move on to the next step in the next process. But guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Just want to show you a little bit about what we do and, in the woods and things like that. And of course, if you don't like logging videos, you don't have to watch them. If you don't like any of the videos, you don't have to watch them. But I'm going to keep making them. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Ring the bell.